This is episode 206, your Christmas in July event. My name is Stephanie Laynes. I'm the owner of Stephanie Laynes Institute Online Esthetician School and owner of the SLI Online Esthetician School podcast. This episode, I'm going to break down one of my challenges in our online school. So there's two action items we have classes that you can take and watch as many times as you want. And there's a certain level or participation level that you have to get to some of the advanced classes. And then there's challenges. And challenges basically break down a theme. I have challenge for Christmas in July. I have challenges, which are action items for you to help some old clients you haven't seen come back. We call that the client comeback challenge. I have the pay yourself challenge. I have the Facebook group challenge. I have social media challenges. I have retail challenges. So the one that gets the most views, especially during the summertime, is creating a Christmas in July event, which is a huge retail event. So if you don't know already and you just started watching or listening to my podcast, or you're currently listening to my podcast and you did not know that I'm very retail heavy, I think this is a reoccurring theme coming in 2026 that people are trying to decide that retail is not something that should be of importance in their business. And I feel this is the biggest way to earn income without a service attached. And I feel like this is why so many estheticians struggle in their business, especially if they're solo, because they actually don't have another way to earn income. There's really only two specific ways that we earn that's easy or expected. Service dollar is going to be one. Retail purchases are going to be the second. The third could absolutely be gift certificate sales, but a lot of people are not consistent with that either. So I'll just stick with the top two in this conversation. If you eliminate a very big way that you can earn income that's not tied to a service specifically, you're going to struggle because the service dollar does not cover every single expense in your business. The service dollar is designed to pay for the back bar products that you use in the service, and pay a portion of the rent. You still have a whole lot of other things that are happening in the business that still needs to be paid. So if you try to take it away from the service dollar, it's going to take away from what you pay yourself. And then there becomes that panic mode where you feel that that service dollar should be able to cover everything. It's the retail that comes in. The retail can come in and cover any other bills. The retail can come in and make sure you're paid what you need to survive, right? The retail can also pay a portion of the rent. So the reason I like to really talk about retail and why it's missing in your business is because there is no option if you're a solo business owner. Even if you're a business owner that has multiple employees, there's no option for retail. There's no other way for you to earn without a service. It's the only way. And if you are there, I would still add in gift certificate sales because that's another way to earn without a service attached. Like at some point, you have to come down and you have to have multiple ways to earn that are not attached to a service, and it has to be consistent. So when I break down the Christmas in July, which is a very, very retail themed event that happens in July in the retail space, I break down in this challenge, one, why you should do it. I have a class for you to watch on why you should do it. And then three, I give you 10 action. Oh, no, I think this one has 20. So there's 20 things that you can do. Let me go back. So I do a daily challenge. That's 10 of 10. I believe I did that twice. So yeah, we have 20 different things that you can do in your business that are themed under the Christmas in July to make it one of the biggest retail bumps in your income in the middle of the year, which is July. July typically for most businesses is where it tends to slow down for services, but that doesn't mean it needs to slow down for retail income, right? People still need to care for their skin. And because July is typically where, especially if you have a client that has a family, they typically are going to try to take vacation in July. They're going to try to do as much as they can before school starts back. Excuse me. They're also going to be looking at July as the time of resting or time off or time spending with family, which means you can still be into that conversation. This is also where I really push really hard my Facebook class because your Facebook group is what keeps your retail dollars consistent as well. That's where you market, that's where you do a lot of different things, right? So now it's going to automatically come in with the expectation that Christmas in July event is going to be a retail event. And you can do it however you want. You could have a giveaway, which I think is the easiest thing to do for Christmas in July. But that also means you have to have a lot of retail because in order for them to get into the giveaway, they have to buy retail, right? That's number one. Number two, you can do an event, right? Or you can have them participate where they purchase a retail item when they're in the service. And then you could have it where it's available in your Facebook group. So I do a lot because all of my clients are virtual. I do a lot of events in my Facebook group. And the biggest one that I make the most retail is going to be a giveaway. And so for my Christmas in July event, I'm going to do, and I always do, a giveaway. Typically, that giveaway will yield us between 10 to 20,000 if I do it in a 2 week period and I do a lot of advertising for it and I'm pushing it onto our website and we do a lot of advertising for it based from our website. We'll have a really big event and I'll have a really good gift. The gift will typically be between 400, 500. Wait a minute. Did I do $1,000 gift last year for Christmas in July? I think I did. I think I did $1,000 event, which was $500 in products and $500 gift certificate. So I think I'm gonna do that again. But anyway, I break that down too that you can do. So Christmas in July, because it's such a big retail event, I feel that if you are selling retail, it should be something that you're doing because it's something that's expected. And a lot of the big box retailers will market Christmas in July. So it's not something where your clients don't recognize it. Most retailers, to get their income up, one, it is their end of the fiscal year, beginning of their year, right? That's the other thing that's really interesting about retail. It ends June 30th and then the new fiscal year starts on July 1st. So it's technically their new year. So the month of July is a big month for them to try to jump up as much as they can for sales. So they're going to do Christmas in July events to get that retail sales up. It's already being marketed for. I just say piggyback on what they're already doing. Your clients are already expecting to spend in July at Christmas in July events, whether it's happening online, whether it's happening on Amazon, whether it's happening on TikTok. So TikTok is Deals for You Day, and Amazon is Amazon Day, Amazon Week, something. But they both do July events, right? TikTok is a little bit more June-ish, so it's kind of for 2 weeks. It's kind of June, and then it ends right before 4th of July. So, and Amazon is the first week of July. So they are big online retailers that do this, and then all of the rest of the folks are going to follow because they want to come in to that cash infusion. They want to follow that cash flow. So in the challenges, I have 20 of them. And so 20 of the 30 days or 31 days in July, you actually have action items that you don't have to think about that you just simply do. And one of the things that I've noticed about a lot of the estheticians that come into the school, they're looking for things to do, but they're not necessarily looking for things that they need to create. It's easier for them to do things that are tried and true that have already worked. And so by doing that, they want to come in, they want to click on the challenge, and they want to be told what to do, right? So I literally took 20 out of the 31 days and I give you action items, which is a lot of things to do. And to do this daily literally gets people to come back and be like, you know what? I'm under communicating in my Facebook group. I'm under communicating in my business as a whole. Like there's so many different things that happen that are very open in the communication space, right? That a lot of people don't really realize until they come and they take this challenge and they start looking at everything that they need to do. I even have something that you're supposed to do on the 4th of July, right? So for me, the reason I wanted to share this with our students in our school was because if you're someone who struggles with retail, you don't necessarily know how to promote yourself, how to market yourself. You don't have certain items. You need a checklist that you can do. There's 20 things on this checklist that are themed around Christmas in July, that are themed around giving you more income when you create an event, whether you want it to be both in person and online, especially if you have a website where you're selling retail products. It's a good space to bring in a lot of income in the middle of the year, in specifically the month of July, if you have a lot of services that have slowed down to make up for the amount of services that you're not getting income from, which is another reason why I break down every business in the aesthetic space needs to have retail. There's a lot of people that are bragging that they're drop shipping. In my opinion, you're not going to be able to really participate in Christmas and July with drop ship options. The thing about giving a customer experience, if they're coming to you, they're expecting to buy and walk away with the product, not wait 2 or 3 days, because now you're training them to get products without the interaction or the connection to you. So it's easy for them to say, I may not necessarily need the service because I can buy and get whatever I want. I'm just coming to you to so-called, correct or fix my face, instead of making it a relationship based experience where you're confirming, the last time you were here, I gave you this. Are we using this every day? I'm starting to notice this. There's no connection here. And so a lot of it is, and I'll never forget, I saw it actually again this week. Someone was saying, well, I can't afford to hold retail. And I think the idea of retail for a lot of people, especially estheticians, is scary because I think they feel like they have to look like a Sephora. When I started my retail space, I had 2 items on my shelf. I had to grow that shelf. It did not start off. It didn't start off. No, it didn't start off. So I had to literally grow my shelf. And I think that being there in that space, people expect you to have this big retail space. And if you are very honest and open and communicating, then it won't be full. But here's the thing. I kept those 2 items on the shelf. Now, I had my Fab Five. So I have Fab Five for skincare products and my Fab Five for post wax products. So I had a total of 10. I was able to keep of those 10 products, 2 of each. And what was comfortable for me was the 2. And then when I got more comfortable, I was able to move it to 3. And here's the thing, what you saw on that shelf didn't mean that that's not what I had available in the retail space, right? But I wasn't able to buy enough to keep something off the shelf. Everything I did was on the shelf. Eventually I did 6. That was the goal. That was the highest that I had, was 6 of every item, right? And that was before I started doing private label. But I was proud of my 6 for 10 products. That's 60 products on the shelf. That didn't include my makeup section because I had Jane Iredale, which I sold a lot. I sold a lot of makeup. That makeup really did really well. Anyway, but I didn't have a full retail space with full of products until about a year in. But I always kept 2 on my shelf. Like I don't really understand when I hear or see someone who says I can't do retail. No one's expecting you to have this big space and they know it's going to grow. Have something though. So you have a whole business with nothing on a shelf, no retail option, no product that someone can purchase, nothing. And so they're just coming to you for the hair removal or for them to feel good. Like I didn't have a big retail space. Like I grew into that retail space. But the other thing that I think really grew my relationship with people is they saw it grow. They saw me go from 2 of every item to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. And here's the crazy part, and I've shared this multiple times. Here's the crazy part about retail. When you only had 2 or 3, some people you had to really kind of convince them to buy it because they needed it. But they were always worried about, well, what if someone else needs this? It ain't got nothing to do with you. You need it. And then the more products I had, the less convincing I had to do because people didn't feel like they were taking my last. When I only had 2, I had to convince them, oh no, don't worry about it. You need it. I want to be sold out. And they're like, are you sure? What about the client that's coming in after me? She'll be fine too. Don't worry about her. But when I started getting 3 of the same item and then 4 of the same item and then 5 and then eventually 6, they walked over and snatched it off because they knew I had extra. And that's what I mean about understanding your customer and their mindset when it comes to retail. Offer it. Provide it. Let them walk over and take it off the shelf and put it in their hand. There's a whole psychology there. And then if you add on top of that, you'll get a free gift when you spend $99 with me today. They're going to spend $99. So you've now made another $100. I always say this. If you have 100 clients that see you in that month, that spend $100 on just retail, that's $10,000 that month. Just retail. If you have 50 clients that spend $100, that's $5,000. That had nothing to do with service dollar. So when I tell people you should absolutely have your own retail space, it is a income generator. It is truly how you make money. And let's take it a step further. You could put whatever you want on that shelf. I'll never forget when I brought in a lip product, and I'm not a lip person. I brought in a lip product and it was a lip treatment. I sold the hell. There were so many people that wanted that lip treatment and I sold a lot of it. And it really showed me that my perception of what I felt most people needed, if I added something really fun that's outside of the box, that's not something I would normally do, and it wasn't something that I used, people bought it. It does not always have to be a cleanser, a moisturizer, a serum, a post-wax product, a cleansing option, an exfoliator. It doesn't always have to be that. But every now and then, I would literally blow my own mind when I brought something in and it's not something that I use and they bought it. Another thing that I did was a hand cream, and I'm not into hand creams at all, but this hand cream was really nice. It smelled really nice. It wasn't overpowering. Um, and then when I was out of the lip treatment, I had the hand cream. So I alternated between the two of items that are not something I would necessarily need to sell, right? I always had a tester out for the hand cream. I sold a lot of hand cream. I sold a lot of lip treatment. The point is it was available. It was an eye space. People would literally walk right over to it. Like it was so simple. It was a part of the business. I always retailed. I started my first business with retail. It was never a choice or option or something that I could feel like I could choose out of. I knew it was going to be an income generator. I came from a business that I worked at for a year where I was the number one esthetician in the company. I sold the most products for that company, and that company was nationwide. They had 40 or 50 locations. So out of 40 or 50 estheticians, I was the number one that sold products. So why would I not do the same thing for myself to give all of the money to me? So when I challenge estheticians, especially the ones that I'm working with, there's no option for retail. Where do you think that extra money is coming from? Why would you think clients wouldn't want to spend with you when they came into the business? They walk over there, trust me, it's like a magnet. They come in or they're even waiting, you know, they're in the waiting space. They're going to go look at your retail. They're going to go look at it. And if you have something new, they're going to go over there and be like, ooh, is this new? They're going to go look at it after the service. They're going to walk over because I'm walking you over to the retail. And I'll pick up the bag I already had for them. I'm giving them a bag when they walk out. So the Christmas in July event is one of the fun events that I actually do in my own virtual business for all of my virtual clients. And I enjoy it. I look forward to it. And so the marketing piece starts about 10 days before July. So right around June 20th is when I'm going to start marketing in my Facebook group. Um, we're going to hit it hard, right? And so I'm so passionate about the retail space. I just wish more estheticians realized there's where their missing money is. They could literally have the business that they want if they actually took retail as serious as it could be in the business. Because in my opinion, you have to have it. You're not struggling. You're just not providing that client with a really true experience. They do want to buy with you. They trust you enough to come in and put their face or their body on your treatment table and trust you enough to do services. Why would you not think they don't trust you enough to have their best interest in mind when you are letting them know how you can help them for their skin when they're not in a service? Because that's where all the changes happen. Retail is, there's no question there. But I would love for a lot of you, if you're not doing the Christmas in July event with us, to come in and join and get into that challenge. It is definitely eye opening when you start to understand the retail space. And the retail space, in my opinion, is the fun space. I mean, it's where in this day and age, right now, currently, I make all of our income in the retail space. No, I shouldn't say all because I still have our wholesale space. So I would say, because the wholesale space is where we sell a lot of our used products, currently in our business, we're probably at 70/30. So 70% of it is retail. 30% would be the wholesale side. I'm ready to get the wholesale side up to 50, but the wholesale has always been a little bit lower. It wasn't always that, but now that we've really heavily pushed our retail, we do a lot of retail, especially because I created a retail heavy virtual business where I'm on multiple platforms talking about our retail products and we sell a lot of them, right? But for you, if you are someone who's listening to this and you've been really struggling, and I want to speak to you before I end this podcast, I want to speak directly to you. There's no struggle if you are operating your business with the customer or the client in mind, meaning they do want to spend with you. They want to buy what you say. They want to have the opportunity to buy it from you, but you've taken that opportunity away from them. And in taking that away from them, you've also taken away income that could be in the business. So I want you to think long and hard. I want you to remember what I said. I'm not telling you to have a full retail space. Have two of the item on your shelf and start there. Just offer something. This podcast is sponsored by the SLI Online Esthetician School. Click the link below to take my free Online Esthetician School masterclass and click the link below to start your first day of school.